Welcome to the Wisdom That Breathes channel. Across all our platforms, we try to share wisdom which is relevant and accessible to everyone. But on this particular platform, we go deeper into some of the ancient principles found within the scriptures. If you find some of the terminology difficult or inaccessible, then go over to our Keshava Swami YouTube channel where you'll be able to find other content which is perhaps more relatable. Thank you and enjoy the wisdom that breathes. So it's really my honor to be with all of you. I'm humbled to be in front of all of you. So many of you, all of you are dedicated to Krishna's service, and so many Vaishnavis in the audience who are more qualified than me perhaps to be speaking. But I'm happy to have the opportunity to glorify Srimati Radharani, and I hope together we can have a wonderful discussion as we celebrate this beautiful day, beautiful festival. Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Bihari Radha Gopi Jana Vallabha Giri Vardhari Gopi Jana Vallabha Giri Vardhari Yashoda Nandana Raja Janaranjana Yashoda Yamuna Tiravanachari Jaya Kunja Bihari Yamuna Yamuna Tiravanachari Jaya Kunja Bihari Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Bihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Giri Vardhari Yashoda Nandana Raja Janaranjana Yashoda Yamuna Tiravanachari
Jaya Kunja Bihari. Yamuna Tiravanachari Jaya Kunja Bihari. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Rama Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jai Radhe, Jai Krishna, Jai Vrindavan. 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 Shri Govinda Gopinath Madana Mohan. Shri Govinda Gopinath Madana Mohan. Shyam Kund Radha Kund Giri Govardhan. Shyam Kund Radha Kund Giri Govardhan. Kalindi Yamuna Jaya Jaya Mahavan. Kalindi Yamuna Jaya Jaya Mahavan. Jai Radhe Jai Krishna Jai Vrindavan. Jai Radhe Jai Krishna Jai Vrindavan. Shri Govinda Gopinath Madana Mohan. Shri Govinda Gopinath Madana Mohan. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Nitai Gaur Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Gaura Hari Bol. Jaya Jai Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Prabhupada. Jai Jai Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Prabhupada. Jai Jai Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda. Jai Jai Shri Chaitanya Jai Nityananda. Jaya Advaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Jaya Advaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Jai Jai Shri Chaitanya Jai Nityananda. Jai Jai Shri Chaitanya Jai Nityananda. Jaya Advaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Jaya Advaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Shri Harinam Sankirtan Ki Jai. Om Jnanatimirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshuranmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhistam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Svayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalan Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Harijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhan Vitamscha. He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priya Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadara Shri Vasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Shri Radhastami Maha Mahotsav Ki Jai.
Thank you so much. Thank you. So Hare Krishna again. Thank you so much. Sorry, I'm just going to get this a little more comfortable. Yes, this is good. So thank you again. My humble obeisances, my respects to all of you. It's really an honor to be in Dallas again at such a historic embassy of Srila Prabhupada. I beg for your blessings and your permission to share something. I'd like to thank Prabhupada Priya Mataji this morning for such a wonderful class which brought us so much deep meditation on Srimati Radharani. She quoted from so much scripture. It was so beautiful. And I thought I'll try to, in my own insignificant way, continue. And so I thought this morning we could read from the Chaitanya Charitamrita. I guess we don't have the screen, so I'll just speak. So the Chaitanya Charitamrita is very beautiful because as you open it, your initial feeling is that now I'm going to dive into the pastimes of Mahaprabhu, and the first 13 chapters are all philosophy. Before you can appreciate the sweet, there has to be a little bit of shukta also, a little bit of sometimes philosophy, which may be hard. But the amazing thing is the philosophy that Kaviraj Goswami presents as a preface to the Chaitanya Charitamrita is also actually very, very sweet. And so what Kaviraj Goswami does is he first establishes why is Mahaprabhu God? And then he establishes who does Mahaprabhu come with? Who are his associates? Kaviraj Goswami also establishes what is the reason why Mahaprabhu appears, the external and the internal reason. And then he establishes how was Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's story documented. So all these questions are answered. And in the 4th chapter of the Adi Leela, Kaviraj Goswami is explaining the inner greed that Krishna had to experience the love of Srimati Radharani. Usually when someone is a powerful preacher in this world, then we say, wow, he's a big preacher, he made that person a devotee. But Srimati Radharani is so powerful that she made God a devotee. So Srimati Radharani's love, it contradicted Krishna's words, because Krishna said, Vedaham samatitani vartamanani charjuna. Krishna declared to the whole world boldly in the Bhagavad Gita that I know past, present, future, and I know all living entities. Krishna boldly declared. But when Krishna came in front of Srimati Radharani's love, then he was like, oh my God, there's something I don't know. And therefore Krishna had to come. This is why Gaudiya Vaishnavism is such an incredible philosophy. If you find a theology in the world where the devotee cries for God, you have to understand this is deep. But if you find a theology where God cries for the devotee, then you have to understand this is even deeper. But if you find a theology where God becomes a devotee to cry for himself, you have to understand this is off the scale. This, dear friends, is Gaudiya Vaishnavism. You will not hear about this in any theology in the world, that God becomes a devotee because he doesn't know what kind of love his devotees, and specifically Srimati Radharani, experience. So it's an explosion when Krishna comes as Mahaprabhu, because he comes in Radha Bhav and he goes into ecstasy, experiencing what Srimati Radharani is experiencing. And so here in the 4th chapter of the Adi Leela, Kaviraj Goswami is explaining Mahaprabhu's inner greed and desire and the glory of Srimati Radharani's love. So I'll just read one verse, Srila Prabhupada's beautiful purport. We'll have a bit of a discussion, and then I'll be happy to also hear all of your realizations. So this is Adi Leela chapter number 4, entitled The Confidential Reasons for Mahaprabhu's Appearance. And today we're reading from text number 145.
Vichar koriye jadi ashvada pai, Radhika swarupa hoite tabe man dhai. So I'll just read the translation and purport. This is Krishna thinking to himself. Chaitanya Charitamrita is very deep because the Bhagavad Gita is the words of Krishna, the Srimad Bhagavatam is the activities of Krishna, but the Chaitanya Charitamrita is the mind of Krishna. So in the Chaitanya Charitamrita, Kaviraj Goswami actually reveals Krishna's mind, what goes through the mind of God. And this is what goes through the mind of Krishna. If I deliberate on a way to taste it, that is Srimati Radharani's love, Krishna is saying. If I deliberate on a way to taste Srimati Radharani's love, I find that I hanker for the position of Srimati Radhika. Purport. Krishna's attractiveness is wonderful and unlimited. No one can know the end of it. Srimati Radharani alone can relish such extensiveness from her position in the Ashraya category. The mirror of Srimati Radharani's transcendental love is perfectly clear, yet it appears clearer and clearest in the transcendental method of understanding Krishna. In the mirror of Radharani's heart, the transcendental features of Krishna appear increasingly new and fresh. In other words, the attraction of Krishna increases in proportion to the understanding of Srimati Radharani. Each tries to supersede the other. Neither wants to be defeated in increasing the intensity of love. Desiring to understand Radharani's attitude of increasing love, Lord Krishna appeared as Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. So Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is coming in the mood of Srimati Radharani. Radha Bhava Dyuti Suvalitam Krishna Nomi Swarupam. She is coming in the Radha Bhav. He is coming in the Radha Bhav. So Srimati Radharani's love, how can we sit here and talk about Srimati Radharani's love, is completely inconceivable to the human mind. Kaviraj Goswami says Srimati Radharani's love is so contradictory that Srimati Radharani's love is pervading every iota of her being, yet simultaneously it's expanding. How is that possible? Kaviraj Goswami says Srimati Radharani's love is purer than the purest. And at the same time, within her love, there is crookedness. He explains in very, very beautiful ways that Srimati Radharani's love cannot be conceived of. Srimati Radharani conquers Krishna with her love. In Barshana they have a saying that everything that Krishna, how does it go? Everything that Radharani does, Krishna likes. And everything that Radharani likes, Krishna does. In other words, Krishna becomes completely subjugated to Srimati Radharani's love. And the proof is that Krishna comes as Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So in our life, we are all looking for love. Prema dhana vina vyartha daridra jivan dasa kori vetan more deha prema dhan. Kaviraj Goswami says that if I'm devoid, prema vina, if I don't have love, I may have so many things. I may have so many material assets, and even in spiritual terms, I may have so many things. Years of service behind my name, positions and titles. I may have knowledge, I may have influence, I may have popularity, I may be honored by so many people. But prema vina, if I don't have love, daridra jivan, then the conclusion is only one, that I am a poor person. Dasakori, therefore, Kaviraj Goswami says, make me your servant. And Vetan More, I only want one salary. Deha Prema Dhan. The only salary I ask for my service is that please you bestow some love on me. Awaken some love within me. So Radhastami is an incredible day because it's a day on which we can meditate on Srimati Radharani's love. Although it's way beyond our own conception, still we meditate on it. Sometimes on a day like this we think, how can we speak about Srimati Radharani? Is so beyond. It's said that once in Vrindavan there was a devotee and he was asked to give a 7-day katha in the run-up to Radhastami. So he came on the first day to give the katha in the run-up for Radhastami, and the whole katha he talked about Krishna. Param Brahma, Param Dhama, Pavitram, Paramam Bhavam, Purusham, Shashvatam Divyam, Adidevam, Ajam Vibhum. He just enumerated Krishna's glories. The next day everyone came, ready to hear Radha Tattva, Radha Leela, Radha Katha. And the next day he just carried on speaking about Krishna. And the third day, and the fourth day, and the fifth day, and the sixth day, glorifying Krishna like anything, not a word about Srimati Radharani. He came to the 7th day, everyone was looking at their watches. Radhastami is coming. And on the 7th day, he began the katha, and he continued speaking about Krishna only. And then he came to the end of the katha, and after glorifying Krishna in every which way for 7 days, the beauty, the strength, the wealth, the fame, the renunciation, the influence of Krishna, then right at the end of the katha he said, and it is this Krishna who bows down to the feet of Srimati Radharani. So that was an interesting strategy of how to glorify Srimati Radharani. He's like, what can I say about Srimati Radharani? But what I can say is that Krishna, who is so great, he has to bow down. Even Jayadev Goswami became bewildered by this. This morning we were hearing about how there's transcendental pride and there's transcendental anger exchange between Krishna and Radharani. And on one such occasion, Jayadev Goswami, the great devotees are experiencing all these leelas within their own heart. And so he was visualizing all of this, that now Srimati Radharani has become transcendentally angry with Krishna because Krishna is unreliable, because Krishna doesn't keep to his word, because Krishna says he'll do one thing and then he does another thing. And Krishna, I gave him everything and still he doesn't reciprocate. So Srimati Radharani locked Krishna out of her life momentarily. And so Jayadev Goswami was writing about this. Not just writing, visualizing. Rishi means drishya. They are seeing all of these things. And therefore when they write in samadhi bhashya. They write in the language of trance. So Jayadev Goswami was writing all these things, visualizing. Srimati Radharani has become transcendently angry. Krishna is feeling that he made a big mistake. And then he came to the point in the pastime visualizing where Krishna comes and bows down to the feet of Srimati Radharani. And as he came to that point in the pastime, writing it down, his hand began shaking. And he said, how can I write this? Krishna, the Sarveshvara, the Param Brahma, Param Dhama, he's bowing down? So he was shaking. And then finally he put his pen down. He said, I need to take a break. This is too much. I need to consider. I can't just write things down. Is this really the case? And so he left the home and he went to the Ganga to take bath cool down. And as he left, he told his wife, I'll just go for Ganga Snan and I'll be back in some hours. And as he left, after a few minutes, there was a knock on the door. Jayadev Goswami, right there at the door. Except it wasn't Jayadev Goswami. It was Krishna, appearing as Jayadev Goswami. So she said, back already? Yes, I'm back. I just forgot to write something down. While it was in my mind, I thought, let me write it. And then Krishna himself came, picked up the pen, and wrote those words. Dehi padda pallavam udaram. Dehi padda pallavam udaram. Krishna finished the sentence, the one that Jayadev couldn't finish. That this Krishna bows down in complete surrender, in complete repentance, in complete desperation at Srimati Radharani's feet. And then Krishna left. And then Jayadev Goswami returned. After considering, can I write this? Should I write this? Is this the right thing to write? And then he looked at his manuscript and it was already written. Already written. Krishna bows down to Srimati Radharani. So the Vaishnavas, the Gaudiya Vaishnavas are partial to Srimati Radharani. This is a great secret. Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur said, the Vaishnavas worship Vishnu, the Karshnas worship Krishna, but the Gaudiyas worship Srimati Radharani. This is a great mystery. He said, some people are interested in Srimati Radharani because of her connection with Krishna. But we are only interested in Krishna because of his connection with Srimati Radharani. This is a big mystery. This is a very big mystery. Whenever there's a fight between Krishna and Srimati Radharani, then the Gaudiyas always take the side of Radharani. Always. One commentator writes and says, Krishna, you are aparadhika. You forgive the offenses of all the living entities in the world. You free them from all their offenses. But then the commentator looks at Krishna and says, but Krishna, if you become aparadhika, if you distance yourself from Srimati Radharani, we will never forgive you. Because do you know how much transcendental pain that causes? The commentators look at Krishna and say, Krishna, you'll always be glorified. You'll be glorified for generations because you lifted Govardhan Hill. But the world doesn't know that the gopis constantly were bearing the weight of the memory of you within their heart. And how much pain that was causing them. The world will not see that. And so this is very, very mystical. So Srimati Radharani's love for Krishna is actually the essence of Srimad Bhagavatam. This morning we were hearing that Srimati Radharani's name is only given in a very concealed way in Srimad Bhagavatam. Anayaradhito nunam Bhagavan Haririshvara. There was one gopi who did a type of aradhan, worship, that surpassed all others. And she is especially glorified. She is especially favored. So actually the Srimad Bhagavatam is revealing the glory of Krishna, but even more than that, the glory of the gopis, and even more than that, the glory of Srimati Radharani. Sometimes we say Srimad Bhagavatam is like the different limbs of Krishna, and the 10th canto is said to be the smiling face of Krishna. In other commentaries it's mentioned that the 10th canto is also considered the heart of Krishna. And if the 10th canto is considered the heart of Krishna, then there are 5 chapters in the 10th canto which are especially considered to be Krishna's very own life is. Some say it's the Rasa Panchadhyay, the 5 chapters where Krishna dances with the gopis. And some say it's a different 5 chapters. Chapter number 21, Venu Geet, where the gopis go mad hearing the flute sound of Krishna. Chapter number 31, Gopi Geet, where gopis are going mad in separation from Krishna. Chapter 35, Yugala Geet, where Krishna goes out with the cowherd boys during the day and then the gopis feel deep separation. Chapter number 39, Viraha Geet, what the gopis feel when Akrura takes Krishna and Balaram on the chariot to Mathura, and how they're singing Govinda Damodara Madhaveti, Govinda Damodara Madhaveti. And chapter number 47, Brahmara Geet, the song of the bumblebee, when Uddhav comes to Vrindavan and he witnesses how the gopis are wallowing in spiritual separation. Now Krishna has left Vrindavan. So the commentators say this is the deep secret of the Bhagavatam. These are the very 5 life airs of Krishna. Because in these 5 chapters, the deep separation and the deep emotions of love and the deep intimate exchanges of heart, the prema vilas, is all explained in a very, very beautiful way. But most people are not aware of this. Even Srila Prabhupada writes, perhaps in Krishna book or somewhere else, he says, sometimes people see Krishna and then they ask the question, but who's that girl next to him? He says, many people don't know Srimati Radharani. And he said, there are some who know Srimati Radharani, but they don't know her glories. And he says, sometimes there are those who know the glories of Srimati Radharani, but they don't know the intimate moods and the feelings that she exchanges in her love with Krishna. So sometimes we take it for granted, but actually to know about Srimati Radharani, to even have access to understanding her pastimes of love with Krishna, this is very, very rare. This is actually not revealed to everyone. But it was Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu who wanted to reveal this to the world. The essence of Srimad Bhagavatam is Srimati Radharani's love for Krishna. But that is only revealed by Mahaprabhu. And that is only explained to us by Mahaprabhu's followers. Like if you look at the Bhagavad Gita, how many verses is the Bhagavad Gita? 700, no? So it's very, very interesting. If you look at what is the 350th verse of the Bhagavad Gita and the 351st verse of the Bhagavad Gita, is very interesting. Because the 350th verse and the 351st are right in the middle of the Gita. And what are those verses? Mahatmanas tumam partha devim prakritim ashrita. That's the first. And the second verse, Satatam kirtayanto mam yatantascha drita vrita namashantascha mam bhaktya nitya yokta upashate. This is very mysterious. What is the heart of the Bhagavad Gita? The first verse is telling us that one must take shelter. The great souls, what do they take shelter of? Devi Prakriti, the transcendental energy. And who is the personification of that transcendental energy? Srimati Radharani. And what's the other things that the great souls do? Satatam kirtayanto mam yatantascha drita vrita. They're always chanting. So Krishna taught it in the Bhagavad Gita. He said, this is what the essence of life is. To take shelter of Srimati Radharani and to always chant the holy name of Krishna. So what did that same Krishna who taught this in the Bhagavad Gita, What did that same Krishna do? He came to the world as Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and he lived out those 2 verses. He fully took shelter of Srimati Radharani because he fully imbibed her mood. And he fully engaged himself in always chanting, because this is the essence of it all. So Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu comes to reveal Srimati Radharani's love. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu comes to experience Srimati Radharani's love. But when Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu wants to explain Radharani's love to the world, and when he wants to give the world an opportunity to access the teachings which will allow them to come into that transcendental world of Vraj, then Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu leaves that task to his followers. So, if we really want to understand the depths of Srimad Bhagavatam, the depths of Srimati Radharani's love, then we can only do it through the followers of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. There was a Bengali poet who had come to Jagannath Puri, and he had written different things on the Bhagavatam. And Mahaprabhu detected that there was some disparity. And so he told Swarup Damodar, check his poetry. So Swarup Damodar checked the poetry and he said, no, this poetry is off. He hasn't fully understood Bhagavatam. And then Swarup Damodar goes to the Bengali poet and he says something very, very profound. Jaha Bhagavata Pada Vaishnavera Stane Ekanta Ashraya Kare Chaitanya Charane. If you really want to understand Bhagavatam, then you have to go to the feet of someone who has understood Bhagavatam and hear from them. But what kind of Vaishnav should you go to? Ekanta Ashraya Kore Chaitanya Charane. You have to go to a Chaitanya Bhakta. A Chaitanya Bhakta can understand the mysteries of Bhagavatam. If one is only a Krishna Bhakta, no. But if one is a Chaitanya Bhakta, yes. Because even Krishna couldn't understand the mysteries of Bhagavatam, which is Srimati Radharani's love. Krishna had to come as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And therefore, if Krishna can't understand Srimati Radharani's love, how can a Krishna Bhakta reveal Srimati Radharani's love? But Chaitanya Mahaprabhu understood Srimati Radharani's love. And therefore, a Chaitanya Bhakta can reveal Srimati Radharani's love. And therefore, it's only by contact with the Gaudiya Sampradaya, the Gaudiya followers of Sriman Mahaprabhu, that we can actually understand this very, very deep mystery. This is the deepest mystery, the most gambhir, the most confidential truth of spiritual life. I began today by saying how Srimati Radharani's love is so far away. It sounds very beautiful to us. It captures our imagination. It also touches our heart in many, many ways. But then often we look at our own heart and we say, Prema Vina, I don't have any love. After years of chanting, after years of practicing, still I'm impoverished in love. It all sounds very beautiful. How will I get there? How will I even develop any of this Vraja Prem, this spontaneous type of love that the Vraja residents have? Thankfully for us, what the Goswamis do, what the followers of Mahaprabhu do, is they reveal Srimati Radharani's love, but what they do is they reveal it in a very, very measured, a very, very systematic, and a very, very beautiful way. If you immediately just try to jump into Srimati Radharani's love, we will not appreciate it. It has to be done very, very carefully, with great consideration. Just like today, we had the opportunity to see the lotus feet of Srimati Radharani. Srimati Radharani ki jai. So this is not just done whimsically. There has to be many meetings, many phone calls, many considerations. Should we do it? Should we not do it? And then maybe the Vaishnavas will do that. Because it's very confidential. You can't just go immediately. Otherwise, we will not appreciate. And so, as we try to understand the blossomed flower of Srimati Radharani's love, we have to understand that like any flower, it opens up gradually. So if you look at the followers of Mahaprabhu who reveal the glory of Srimati Radharani's love, an amazing thing you find is that they do it in stages. One individual who revealed Srimati Radharani's love to the whole world was Ramananda Rai. When Mahaprabhu came to see Ramananda Rai at the Godavari, then Mahaprabhu said, I'm the sannyasi, wherever I go, they always give me the mic and tell me, you give the class. So today, I don't want to give the class. Today, I want you to give the class. And today, I want to hear from you. And today, I'm asking you the question, what is life's ultimate goal? And what does Ramananda Rai do? He ultimately comes to the point where life's ultimate goal is the love that is exchanged in Sri Vrindavan Dham between Krishna and the Brajabasis, and specifically between Krishna and Srimati Radharani. But does he say that immediately? No. He says, life's ultimate goal, do your duty. Mahaprabhu says, Eho bhaiya, aage kaho aar. Is that what you're telling me the ultimate goal is? There must be something more than that. Then he says, yes, give up the results of the fruits of your activities. Mahaprabhu says, good, you're citing a lot of scripture, but eho bhaiya, aage kaho aar. That's still external, say something more. And then step by step, he teaches us how to reach Srimati Radharani's love. Another follower of Mahaprabhu who reveals Srimati Radharani's love is Rupa Goswami. And so Rupa Goswami writes a beautiful book, Upadesh Amrita, the nectar of instruction. And in that nectar of instruction, what does Rupa Goswami do? He reveals the greatest place in creation, and he reveals the greatest personality in creation. The greatest place undoubtedly is Radha Kund, and the greatest personality is Radharani. But where does he begin? Vacho vegam manasa krodha vegam jiva vegam udarapasto vegam. Then, step by step, the favorable things, the unfavorable things, how to relate to devotees, how to ultimately get a taste for chanting the holy names, how to surrender, and then Srimati Radharani, step by step. Another person who reveals Srimati Radharani's love is Sanatan Goswami. And when Sanatan Goswami wants to reveal Srimati Radharani's love to the world, he also goes step by step. Because in the beautiful book, Brihat Bhagavatamrita, in the very first story, he is asking the question, who got the most mercy from Krishna? Obvious answer. But he doesn't immediately say Srimati Radharani. He goes on a journey, step by step. And ultimately, through each one of those steps, he learns something from every devotee that ultimately teaches us the kind of things we have to develop in our life in order to enter into this transcendent realm. Should I go through Brihat Bhagavatamrita and that journey? How do we come to the point of understanding Srimati Radharani is the greatest devotee? Sanatan Goswami, he tells the story of Narad Muni. Narad Muni wants to know who got the most mercy from Krishna. And so the first place that Narad Muni decides to go is Kumbh Mela. Kumbh Mela is coming up soon. And Kumbh Mela is a very interesting place because it's where all the spiritual people congregate. So naturally, if you want to know who got the most mercy, it's a good place to go, because that's where all the spiritual people are. Prabhupada said, even to this day, the Indian government doesn't know how all of these yogis get to Kumbh Mela. He said, but we know the secret. They go down in one river, they chant a mantra, and they emerge in the Triveni Sangam. I went to Kumbh Mela 12 years ago and I saw all these yogis coming out. I was like, wow, maybe they just teleported. So Narad Muni came to Allahabad, Prayag. He came to Kumbh Mela, trying to find out who got the most mercy from Krishna. And then he saw many, many ascetics. But then amongst them, he saw one Brahmana. This Brahmana was known as the Prayag Brahmana. And the Brahmana took out his Shaligram Shila. He began worshipping very, very beautifully, very, very attentively, with great devotion. He completed his puja. He was so cultured, so respectful. He fed all the Vaishnavas. Narad Muni was just observing him. And he said, this one, he got the most mercy from Krishna. So he came up to the Prayag Brahmana and he said, I think you got the most mercy from Krishna. I'm looking at the way you worship Krishna. You have so much devotion. He said, there are so many ascetics here, but nasadhayati mam yogo nasankhya dharma uddhava nasvadhyayas tapascheva yatha bhaktir mamorjita. Krishna is not impressed by sadhana. Krishna is not impressed by yoga. Krishna is not impressed by yagya or tapa. Krishna is not impressed by svadhyay. Krishna is impressed by one who has bhakti. And I'm looking at you and you have a lot of bhakti. I think you're the one that got the most mercy from Krishna. And he said, you're wrong. It's not me. Because you're seeing me at a festival. At a festival, everyone's fired up. But there is another personality who has a festival every single day. You see me worshipping like this personality, he worships like this every single day is a festival in his life. And he has so much, but he utilizes all of that to bring together the whole community in worshipping Krishna. I worship alone, but he brings many together. Therefore, if you want to know who got the most mercy, you have to go to the southern states. And there is a king. And he got the most mercy from Krishna. All right, I'll go there then. So then he went there. And he turned up to the palace of the southern king. And as he entered, there was a festival going on. And the king, who had so much opulence, who had so much influence, who had so many responsibilities, it's almost like he was just absorbed in devotional service. This is called Raja Rishi. He's a king, powerful. But more than that, he's a devotee. And so Narad Muni went up to the southern king and said, I think you definitely got the most mercy from Krishna, but it seems like you guys have a festival here every single day. The king looked at him and said, I'm doing what I can, but I'm definitely not the one who got the most mercy. Because you think my festivals are big, but there's someone who has way more than me. You think my kingdom's big, there's someone who has a dominion much greater than me. And me, I can serve for a short period of time, but this personality lives for an extremely long time. If you want to know who got the mercy from Krishna, you have to go higher. And you have to go and meet Indra. Go to Amaravati and see Indra. Because if you think I'm a king who's worshipping, you should go and see Indra. He's worshipping and he does much more than what I do. And so Narad Muni went to meet Indra. And so in Indraloka, in Amaravati, Indra was worshipping Vamandev. So then Narad Muni arrived there. And he looked at Indra and he looked at everything that was going on. And he said, Indra, definitely you got the most mercy from Krishna. Indra said, me? Don't you know history? I've made so many blunders in my life. For one, Krishna became angry with me. Because when the Vrijabasis stopped the offerings that were meant for me, then out of pride, I sent the Samvartak cloud. And Krishna, he was very, very disappointed. I had to go and beg forgiveness. Indra said, don't you know, one day I offended my guru, Brihaspati. And then later on, I killed the Brahmana, Twasta. And then later on, I had to ask for Didichi Muni's bones to rectify the whole situation. He said, I did Guru Aparad, Brahma Hatya, and Vaishnav Ninda all in one day. And you're telling me I got the most mercy from Krishna? Don't you know I'm making blunders left, right, and center? It's not me. There's someone higher than me. You're looking at me thinking I live for a Manu or a Manvantar. But there is one person, in his one day, there are 14 Manus. He lives for an extremely long time. You think I have a big kingdom? This person is in charge of the whole show. And this personality is so great that they were directly instructed by Krishna from within. Who's that? Tene brahmarida ya adi kavaye muyanti yat surayaha. Go to Brahmaloka. So Narad Muni goes to Brahmaloka. And there in Brahmaloka, where Mahapurush himself is residing, then Narad Muni comes there and says to Brahma, don't cheat me now. I know you're the one who got the most mercy from Krishna. You were the first person to see Krishna, and you were the first person to be instructed by Krishna. Clearly, you got the most mercy from Krishna. Brahma looked at Narad Muni, he said, who sent you here? Who told you this? Narad Muni says, Indra. Goes, Indra? Brahma said, I made a worse mistake even than Indra. Because although Indra made a mistake, the net result of his mistake was that all the Brajabasis came together for 7 days, for 7 nights, and that had never happened before. Krishna was actually happy with his mistake. But what was my mistake? I stole the cowherd boys, I stole all the calves, and I caused Krishna to be separated from his devotees. I made a massive blunder. Brahma said to Narad Muni, haven't you read the Bhagavatam? In the 2nd canto, don't you see? Even I'm susceptible to be overcome by Rajagun. I try to do my service for Krishna, but I have many weaknesses. I am not the one who got the most mercy from Krishna. Brahma looks at Narad and he says, look, instead of just hearing what this person has to say, this person has to say, go by Shastra. Now I'm going to send you to the person who's the greatest Vaishnav. And I'm not just telling you my opinion, I'm telling you the opinion of Shastra. Because Shastra says this person is the greatest Vaishnav. Nimnaganam yatha Ganga, Devanam achyuto yatha, Vaishnavanam yatha Shambhu, Purananam idam tatha. Of all rivers, Ganga is foremost. Of all devas, Achyuta is foremost. Of all Puranas, Bhagavatam is foremost. And of all Vaishnavas, Shiva is the top. Narad Muni went, Shiva Loka. And before Shiva could even say anything, he said, I've got Shastric proof. You don't say anything to me. I've got Shastric proof. And Lord Shiva, he said, no, I am not the greatest Vaishnav. This is just the kindness of the sages. Vaishnavas always see the good. I am not the greatest. He said, how can I be the greatest? I came down in the world as a Mayavadi. And I deviated the world away from surrendering to Krishna. How can you say, look at me, look at my habits, look at what I do. I reward the wrong people. I create disturbances. Isn't it? Vrikasura came to me and I rewarded him. And then I got in trouble. Krishna had to bail me out. So Shiva said, look, it's not me. You're trying to quote Shastra to me. But let me tell you Krishna's own words. There is another devotee by Krishna's own words who was identified as the crest jewel of all Vaishnavas. This devotee is so powerful that Krishna had to come in a unique way, in a unique form, in a unique mood, never seen before in the whole world, just to keep the words of his devotee true. This devotee is so powerful that he's constantly thinking of Krishna. And therefore he's the emblem of Smaranam. And the goal of the Vaishnavas is to always remember Krishna and never forget him. So if you want to know who got the most mercy from Krishna, you have to go to Bhakta Shiromani. Of course, Prahlad. So Narad Muni came to Prahlad. The interesting thing is that the Guru comes to the disciple and says, you're the greatest devotee of Krishna. That's amazing. The Guru is so humble. Prahlad's looking at Narad saying, I learned it all from you. You're Narada. You're the one who gives Narayan to everyone. Prahlad says, I have to humbly submit that I am not the greatest devotee. You know why? Because I took service from Krishna. I just sat there meditating on Krishna and I made Krishna think deeply about how to circumvent all of Brahmaji's benedictions given to Hiranyakashipu. The Lord had to work hard. He had to rack his brains. Not in the night, not in the day, not inside, not outside, not with your weapons, not on the like. I gave the Lord a good workout. Do you think the greatest devotee has the Lord serve them? The greatest devotee is dedicated to serving the Lord. And therefore, if you want to know who got the most mercy from Krishna, this person dedicated their life to service. They were the emblem of Dasyam. When they opened their heart, then it was clear to the whole world that the Supreme Lord was situated right there. And this personality was willing to go to any lengths to serve, to take on any danger. Who was that? Hanuman. And so the Lord went to Hanuman. Narad Muni went to Hanuman. And so he said to Hanuman, you're the greatest devotee. It's all been confirmed. It's all there because a devotee is a servant. Jivera Swarupa Hoy, Krishnera Nitya Das, Krishnera Tatastha Shakti, Beda Beda Prakash. The greatest devotee is the greatest servant. And you can't say you're not a great servant. Everyone knows it. You've dedicated your life to service. Therefore, you must be the greatest devotee. And Hanuman says, I served the Lord, and the Lord was with me for some time. But after some time, the Lord left. And therefore, my conclusion is that I'm not the one who got the most mercy from the Lord. Because the Lord was with me, and after the job was done, then the Lord left. But there were some individuals who had the Lord as their constant companion. There were certain individuals who didn't just have a reverential relationship. My relationship with God is very reverential, but they had a friendship. They were with the Lord for when they were in trouble, the Lord came. The Lord was their advisor, and the Lord even became their charioteer. Therefore, if you want to know who got the most mercy, you have to go to these individuals, because these individuals, Krishna was by their side through thick and thin. Pandavas. So then Narad Muni went to Hastinapur. Lucky for us, Narad Muni likes traveling. It's like, this is a long journey, you know. So Narad Muni came to Hastinapur, the Pandavas, and he started glorifying them, and the Pandavas said, no, 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 no. You got it all wrong. Yes, the Lord was with us. Yes, the Lord was our friend. Yes, the Lord protected us. But you see, our relationship with Krishna still carries an agenda. You see, why does Krishna come to this world? Yada yada hi dharmasya glanir bhavati bharata abhyutanam adharmasya tadatmanam srajamyaham. When Krishna comes to this world, he has some work to do. And the work he has to do is he has to dharma sanstha panarthaya. He has to establish dharma. And in order to establish dharma, he needs kings. And therefore, the Lord came to this world and he kind of spent time with us. And he helped us to become the kings. But it was kind of to do his job. But there are individuals who he just had a family relationship with. There are individuals who got more mercy than us because the Lord with them had no agenda per se, but rather they were just the close associates. They were just his inner circle. And who are they? The Yadus. So then Narad Muni went to the Yadus. And the Yadus, they said, definitely we got a lot of mercy from Krishna. But you have to be more specific. Because you're looking for the person who got the most mercy from Krishna. So the Yadus are numerous. There's so many of us. We're not denying. We got mercy from Krishna for sure. But if you want to know who got the most mercy from Krishna, there was one of us. There was one of the Yadus who was by Krishna's side. One Yadu who looked exactly like Krishna. One Yadu who Krishna always went to when he needed advice. One Yadu who, he was so great. This Yadu, one time, he saw a lady and he became attracted. And when he became attracted to this lady, he became completely bewildered. How can I be attracted to the lady? I can only be attracted to Krishna. How is it possible that I'm attracted to a lady? And this Yadu concluded, there's only one explanation. The lady must be Krishna. And indeed, this Yadu found out that this lady was indeed Krishna. Because this person, he can't have attraction for anyone or anything else apart from Krishna. This yadu is very, very special. This yadu is Uddhava. Well done. Uddhav, a great devotee. Narad Muni went to him. Narad was realizing, I'm kind of seem to be coming to the end of my journey here. I don't know how many more people can deny me. He came to Uddhav and he said, Uddhav, you are the crest jewel of the Yadavas. You were with Krishna. Krishna, when he was missing Vrindavan, he would talk to you. He sent you. He asked many things of you. Clearly, you were closest to Krishna. And then Uddhav said, that's what I thought. I thought there could be no one more close to Krishna than me. And I thought Krishna loves me so much, whenever he has something to do, he always comes to me. He can rely on me. And therefore, one time Krishna asked me to do something and he asked me to go somewhere. And I thought, yes, Krishna, I'll do you a favor, because after all, we're close. And so Krishna sent me with a message. And Krishna sent me to the land, the playground of God. Krishna sent me to that place. And I was thinking, what will I do there? I am the student of Brihaspati. I give big classes. And now you're sending me to a cowherd village? What will I speak to them? I have so much philosophy to give. Probably I'll stay there for a few hours and then I'll just have to leave. It's like a PhD professor going to a kindergarten school. What will I teach? What will I tell them? Will they even understand my language? Uddhav said, I went to Braj. When I came, I was looking for Nanda Maharaj's house. And then I was wondering, where is Nanda Maharaj? I asked the Brijabasi, where is Nanda Maharaj? Where does he live? And the Brijabasi said, just look at that stream. Follow that stream. Follow the stream. And then he realized this was the stream of tears coming from the courtyard of Nanda Maharaj. Because Yashoda was crying. Crying in separation. Constantly crying, crying, crying. Krishna, he's left. And so the Brijabasi told Uddhav, just follow the tears. Follow the road of tears. And that will take you to the home of Nanda Maharaj. Uddhav ji saw the devotion of Nanda Maharaj, the devotion of Yashoda. Then finally he went to that place, Uddhav Kyari. Very mystical place. And there, when he approached in the chariot that Akrura had driven to take Krishna and Balaram to Mathura, then as the gopis saw in the distance a dust of cloud and a chariot coming, they recognized the chariot. Has Krishna come back? He did say he would come back. But no, it wasn't. It was Uddhav. He looked like Krishna, but it wasn't Krishna. And Uddhav said, I've come to you to give you a message written by Krishna's own hand. They took the letter from Uddhav's hand. They smelt it. They began rubbing it all over their body, trying to remember, Krishna, we're missing you so much. Uddhav began to relay messages, and very, very quickly he understood, I'm out of my depth here. This devotion, this love, this level of dedication, this type of crying for Krishna, I have never seen anyone embody in my whole life. And therefore, Uddhav, who would only stay there, he thought, I'll only stay there a few days, they won't get my language. He realized, I have to learn their language. I have to learn their language of love. Because their language of love is a type of love that has conquered Krishna. Napareyeham niravadya samyujam sasadu krityam vibudayushapiva yama bhajandur jaya geha shrinkhala samvrishya tadva pratiyatu sadhuna. Krishna said to the gopis, again you made me contradict myself. I declared boldly to the whole world, Ye yatha mam prapadyante, as they surrender unto me, I'll reward them accordingly. You guys, you made me contradict my words. Because napadeyeham niravadya samyujam. I can't repay you. I have nothing. I have nothing in my power to repay you for the devotion and love that is emanating from every iota of your being. So Uddhav was observing all of this. Uddhav ended up staying there much longer than he expected. Uddhav came back to Mathura. Krishna heard, Uddhav has come back. So Krishna was looking everywhere for him. Where is he? You know where Krishna found him? In a Goshala milking a cow. It's like, Uddhav, what are you doing in the Goshala milking a cow? The Vrajabhav had rubbed off on him. He looked at Krishna and said, your devotees are amazing. Uddhav looked at Narad Muni. I'm not the greatest devotee. The greatest devotees are the gopis. Because they love Krishna in a way that transcends all formality and ritual. This type of love makes Krishna a prisoner. Krishna says, Aham bhakta paradino yashvantantra evad vija sadubir grashta ridayo. Krishna says, I am not independent. I am completely subjugated by my devotees. And the gopis are those devotees. And so Uddhav looked at Narad Muni and he said, it's not me, it's the gopis. Me, I made a prayer. Asamaho charanadrenujusam aham shyam vrindavane kimapi gulmalatau sadhinam yaduschajam jaramajam paramatva bhitva bejur mukunda padavim shrutibir vimrigyam. Uddhav said, I made a prayer that I just want to become a clump of grass. I want to become a clump of grass some way off the main track of Vrindavan. So that when the gopis in ecstasy are looking for Krishna and they go into a madness and then they go into a grove asking all the plants and the trees and the insects, where is Krishna, where is Krishna? Then in that ecstasy, maybe they'll step on me. And if they step on me, then my life will be successful. So the gopis, their love is glorified in this way by Narad Muni in Brihat Bhagavatamrita. And amongst those gopis, Srimati Radharani is the foremost, so special. Srimati Radharani makes a prayer. May the earth element of my body when I die merge into the ground of Braj so that Krishna can run along that ground with the cowherd boys. May the air element of my body mix with the winds of Vraj, so that as Krishna is performing his pastimes, then it will carry beautiful aromas for his pleasure. May the water element of my body mixed with the Yamuna, so that when Krishna wants to go and have those sporting pastimes in those beautiful waters, then it will be very cool and pleasing for him. May the fire element of my body merge with the flame that Krishna uses every single day to see his own reflection and decorate his transcendental body. And may the ether element, where does Srimati Radharani want her ether element to be mixed with in Braj? Nanda Maharaj's courtyard. She said, may the ether element of my body merge into Nanda Maharaj's courtyard, so that courtyard can expand. And so Krishna, Balaram and all the cowherd boys can play there. Because their pastimes in Braj of divine play, this is what conquers our hearts. And this is the most cherished destination of every single living entity. Shrimati Radharani ki, Radhastami Maha Mahotsav ki.